afternoon and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the technical training session of Suprema Connect 2021. I am Laney Lee, a technical consulting engineer at Suprema. I'm so glad to meet all of you today. During today's session, we'll go through the main features of the recently updated and the upcoming BioStar 2's version 2.8.10 and version 2.8.11. So here are the items we will cover in today's webinar. Today, we are going to check out 4 major new features. We will look at data file export and import and intelligent slave of BioStar 2.8.10, occupancy limit zone, station and QR of BioStar 2.8.11. Afterward, major bug fixes and others part will be followed. We will provide a list of improvements of BioStar 2 new local API and introduce major bug fixes. After reviewing all topics, there will be a short Q&A session. Let's start the first topic of today, data file export and import. First of all, what is the data file export and import, and when do you need to it? The data file export and import is a feature that allows you to export or import user and log data by USB connection to the Suprema device. If you back up user information or log into the device or install and use the device in an environment without a network connection, this feature allows you to move data to where it is needed from device to server and vice versa. If so, what conditions you need to set up to use the data file export and import feature? You need to set the firmware of the device to be used for data file export and import, and BioStar 2 version according to the table on the screen. Also, please notice that the data file export import feature is only available for BioStation 2, BioStation A2, Base Station 2, Base Station F2, and Face Lite. As this is an updated feature from our previous feature, there are several precautions to use new data file export and import. The user and log data file export and import method supported by the previous version will no longer be available if you upgrade BioStar 2 to 2.8.10 or above. You must match the device firmware version to use the new data export and import feature. Visual face credentials registered through upload image or mobile cannot be transferred through the user information export and import. Face Lite only supports the log data import feature as designed. Next, for customers already using BioStar version 2.8.10, there is an important notice regarding data file export and import. The data file export import feature updated in 2.8.10 for BioStation 2 and Face Lite is not supported correctly. Hopefully, this issue will be fixed in BioStar 2.8.11. For your reference, we share the error message on the screenshot. If you try to do data file import using BioStation 2 or Face Lite with BioStar 2.8.10, you can see the same error message as on the screen. Users experiencing this issue should upgrade to the BioStar 2.8.11 or apply the patch for version 2.8.10. If you prefer to apply the patch for BioStar 2.8.10, you can find it on the Suprema Technical Support website. First, please access the Suprema Technical Support website. Then find the article in the search bar. At the end of the article, the patch file is updated. And the indication for applying is also described in the article. Let's take a look at the second new feature, the intelligent slave. What is an intelligent slave? Intelligent slave is a feature that enables a Suprema device to perform multiple one-to-one or one-to-N authentication by using user data stored in the device and transmit results to the third-party controller through Open Supervised Device Protocol, which is OSDP. It overcomes the limitation that only one-to-one matching was available in other applications and the lack of controller storage by strong user data directly in the slave device. If so, how can this intelligent slave feature be used with Suprema products? Let's check the diagram on the screen. Intelligent slave used in an environment where Suprema product becomes slave and third-party controller is a master. Step 1. When the user authenticates on the Suprema device. Step 2. Match the user one-to-one or one-to-N. Step 3. The result of user authentication, card ID, or user ID will be sent through the OSDP protocol. Step 4. Based on this result, the third-party solution will operate like the door for authentication success. Step 5. The third-party device sends feedback to Suprema device so that the Suprema device can operate the LED or buzzer. This is the basic entire process. In order to use intelligent slave feature, you need to match the BioStar 2 version, device model, and firmware version. The table below is a list of products and versions currently supported in the intelligent slave. Devices not mentioned in this table will be applied sequentially in the future. Now, let's see how to use intelligent slave feature in BioStar 2. The settings we are going to look at today are only those in BioStar 2, and we will skip the wiring between the Suprema device and the third-party controller. Step 1. Log into the BioStar 2 and go to the device menu. Step 2. We will review this feature with BioEntry W2 today. Please access the device's detail page. Go to the serial part of the device setting and set RS485 mode to default and the baud rate according to the third-party controller's specification to connect. If you're using a firmware that supports intelligent slave, an item called intelligent slave will appear on the BioStar 2. In this section, you can select the data value to be exported through the OSDP protocol and the OSDP ID of Suprema device. Exception code. The default value is disabled. Suprema device can send to aggregate accurate logs in exceptional situations such as authentication failures or the no part of the verified user information. Depending on the system requirement of the third-party ACU, you can enable this option and set it in decimal or hexadecimal. You can enter decimal numbers from 0 to 18446744, 0737 0955 1615, and you can enter the hexadecimal numbers from 0 to 12Fs or hexadecimal characters up to 8 bytes. The final step is connect your device with third-party ACU through RS485 and check the operation. If you'd like to learn more about the OSDP technology of Suprema products, please check Kate's OSDP technology webinar on the Suprema Connect page after today's session. Now, let's take a look at the new features of BioStar 2.8.11. The third new feature to cover is the Occupancy Limit Zone. What is the Occupancy Limit Zone? The Occupancy Limit Zone aims to limit the number of people that can enter a particular area or zone. You can use this feature to manage the indoor space to avoid overcrowding due to COVID-19. Suprema Occupancy Limit Zone allows only a limited number of people to enter based on the authentication record from the entry and exit device and restricts entry beyond that, enabling monitoring of the occupants in the zone. The Occupancy Limit Zone currently supports only 2 devices. Please check the BioStar 2 information, device model, and firmware version displayed on the screen. Now, let's learn how to set the Occupancy Limit Zone. First of all, you can create an Occupancy Limit Zone at the Zone menu in BioStar 2. Please remember, you can create the Occupancy Limit Zone without setting up a door. However, you can set up with a door or APB zone by each site's requirements. Click the Add Zone icon, select the Occupancy Limit Zone at the end of the pop-up window, and click the Apply icon. Occupancy Limit Zone only supports global mode. This means that all devices used for this zone setup must support individual TCP/IP communication. When creating a zone, the name must be entered as a required field. Can you find the red disk icons in front of the word name? Items marked in red disk are the minimum required items to save configurations on the page. Next, select the entry and exit devices for the zone. Only one device is selected in our sample, but you can select multiple devices as well. And keep in mind that only Face Station F2 and Face Station 2 support this feature. Next, we'll learn about the parameter called limit. This value means the maximum number of users that can enter the Occupancy Limit Zone. This value supports from 0 to 10,000. Please notice that entering 0 means that there is no limit to the number of people who can enter. Even if you write the maximum number of occupants in the limit, there can be some cases where you want the alert to be noticed before reaching the maximum limitation. In this case, you can activate the count alert function and write the number of people generate an alert. For reference, the number that can be entered in the alert must be smaller than the number you wrote in the limit. Next, we'll learn about some unique features using this zone. Occasionally, when leaving the room, there are some users who leave without authenticating on the exit device. For these cases, Suprema allows auto count reset. When auto count reset is enabled, you can select how long the number of users in the occupancy limit zone can be reset. Your BioStar 2 time zone configuration will be a standard of this feature as well. Network failure action is an option to select how each network disconnected device behaves when the network of the device is disconnected. You can choose either the option to allow both check-in and check-out, or the option to allow only check-out. Let's assume if the occupancy limit zone consists of total 4 devices with 2 entry devices and 2 exit devices, and the network can be disconnected from only 1 device. At this time, network failure action is applied only to 1 device that is disconnected from the network, not to all 4 devices set in the zone. Finally, you can configure the bypass group of the occupancy limit zone. If you want to set up a bypass group, you can create the group in the Access Group menu of BioStar 2. And the users in the bypass group will not be limited by the number you configure that limit parameter. Now, let's watch a demo video about occupancy limit zone that we checked today. Did you enjoy watching the video? Now, let's introduce the last new feature of today, Station 2 and QR. First of all, what we are going to talk about today is to check only the basic settings and operation when using BioStar 2 and Station 2. If you need more information about the QR feature of Station 2 and BioStar 2, please check out Michael's Station 2 webinar on Suprema Connect website. A detailed demo is also included in the video, which will be of great help for you. Now, let me briefly introduce about Station 2. Currently, the Station 2 is divided into two models. There are RFID-only models without QR and with QR module. Also, it is divided into DPV model and APV model according to the supported card type. Please check the information on the card type supported by each model according to the color mapped on the screen. The next is to share the capacity of Station 2. Please note that the burgundy comments in the table for sites that use QR and barcodes or use fingerprint devices as slaves. On Station 2, QR code will be supported as one of the new user credentials. Suprema supports the new QR code credential in two types, a BioStar 2 QR, which is an option for generating QR by BioStar 2, and a QR and barcode issued by other systems. If you concern the option of using a QR or barcode issued by a third-party system, please check the burgundy color in the table. When a third-party system issued a QR or barcode, we support only the QR or barcode creates with printable ASCII characters and 32-character long cases. If your QR codes or barcodes do not meet this restriction, you cannot use those with BioStar 2. Now, let's see how to register a QR in BioStar 2. We will check this part for the case of using BioStar 2 QR. To issue a QR in BioStar 2, you need to set up email configuration in BioStar 2 settings. Please enter the SMTP configuration of the server you will use. At the bottom of the same page, there is an item called QR. The default for this entry is not used. Please change this to use and fill in the necessary information, including the email title. Now, go to the user menu and enroll or modify a user. Click on the credential called QR. Please select QR barcode type. BioStar 2 QR is the QR code that contains an encrypted PIN on BioStar 2. Basically, the input type can be used a random card number. It is recommended to use this method, but you can change to enter the card number manually into the QR code. If you select QR or barcode in the QR barcode type, it means using the QR code issued by the third-party system. In this case, you can manually enter the corresponding QR code value. If you're using BioStar 2 QR, you must enter your email address when registering a user. BioStar 2 QR will be delivered to the registered email address here. However, email information is not required when a QR code is issued by a third-party system. If you see a pop-up notification like this means that the QR code email delivered to your email account. If you receive this QR issuance email, please download and use the QR code image attached to the email instead of a screen capture. If you want to use a third-party QR code, please register by manually entering the QR code number. Email information is not required for this case. Suprema supports customers to register multiple third-party QR codes at once through the CSV import. Please remind that this feature is not supported for customers who uses the BioStar 2 QR. If you want to use a third-party QR with CSV import, create a CSV file and map the column name containing the third-party QR data to the QR column. As you can see on the screen, the event names of the QR code authentications are saved as a card authentication according to the design. For your understanding, the user 9 is in the box is the BioStar 2 QR user. And the user number 10 in the box is a user using a third-party QR code. So far, we've covered the main new features. From now on, we will cover items which we did not cover on the previous section and some major bug fixes you may need to know. If you're using BioStar 2 software server, you can review integration through API. In BioStar 2.8.10 and 2.8.11, we support several new APIs for the convenience of our customers. The first one is API for user groups, and second one is server matching API stabilization, CSV export and import support. And from BioStar 2.8.11, we created the TA report API, and we will update how to use TNA report related API on the Suprema technical support portal later. Following item is new API for QR barcode for X-Station 2 and for Occupancy Limit Zone as well. The following are the major bug fixes for BioStar 2.8.10. If there are any items that seems to be your case, please review upgrading the BioStar 2. Registering a visual face was not correctly done due to image rotation when using Chrome version 86. Visual face CSV import failed when using the Wigan format or a custom user field. Email transmission did not function properly when SMTP security type was none for TLS in email settings. The option for Wigan input-output and input-output were displayed as if they were able to set simultaneously from the FaceStation Act 2 configuration page. The BioStar server occupied too much memory in certain cases. In BioStar 2.8.11, there aren't many bug fixes. When returning to the individual summary report list after checking details of a selected report, the item selection did not work properly in the list. A type error cannot read properly replace of undefined error occurred in the browser console when issuing a CSN card to users. Now, the introduction of new features of BioStar 2.8.10 and 2.8.11 is over. From now on, I'll answer the remaining Q&As. Hello, everyone. You can find out the Q&A box on the bottom of the screen, and you can leave the questions in the Q&A box instead of chat box. It'll be easier to follow up your Q&As if you question in the Q&A box. Thank you. I would like to share Tiff Huang's question. Is the QR code on mobile pass app or only shown on email? Actually, according to the current design, we do not send QR code and show on the mobile pass app. We only deliver through the email. So you can download from the email account and use on the phone with a saved image. I think Tiff Huang and Mark Pohl's inquiry are same. The BioStar 2 QR code is supported on user menu, and it is for registered user. So if you'd like to use for visitors, you can add visitor in the user list and issue the QR code for access. If you have any further questions, you can visit technical support website and create a ticket, and then we will answer for your questions. Hi, everyone. This is the end of this technical training. Thank you for participating and have a good day.